Greetings, it's Audrey with Polishing Marbles. I'm on an evening walk right now, and I just realized that after editing, there's no way for me to potentially have an intro for this next post, this podcast. And so the way that I recorded it, because I recorded it out of curiosity and then realized, oh, I should share this with people. This is really good information. So it was not intended to be presented. So I want to give a little introduction as to what it is about. And just as a street light comes on, as that does happen, this recording is because, I end up channeling lots of things. I have access to everything. And unless it comes into my field aggressively, intentionally, I'm asked about it, whatever, I don't. Or if something is being plopped into my field for focus from spirit in general, then I will look at it. But one thing that has not come into my field is galactic children. It's come up for some people in my circle, and it's been important for some work we're going to do. And so I was like, okay, sitting down by the river, tell me, Osho, about galactic children. Because, you don't get something you don't ask for. You got to empower your throat chakra. You got to empower yourself to gain the knowledge. If you are curious, you must ask. And like all of the ancient books say, if you seek, you're going to find. And so I sought and I found. And so this is essentially what Osho had to say about galactic children, what that means, why they're here, and in what ways they're here that vary, what frequency they carry, what they're doing, and how they want to help. And I can't even tell you, I had no point of reference for this in any conceivable way. And like most things, if it's not in my field, I have no interest in it. So I don't seek out information on it unless I'm hit with it. So I have no point of reference, mind you. So this is what I got after knowing nothing about galactic children, except that some of my friends on social have been creating AI art depicting galactic children, and I think they're cute. And that's all I had leading up to this. So this channeling with Osho was done by the river, which I really like because you can hear the sound of the water in the background. And it's beautiful. And I was in this beautiful, beautiful, peaceful, joyful state, and in channeling this information, and my voice tonality really went into kind of a thick channeling feel, which doesn't always happen with Osho, but because the information was out of my calibration, it comes out more slowly. So if you notice a change in my voice as I'm channeling someone I've channeled many times, it's because of that. It's because the calibration of the information was far outside of my calibrated scope, which I can still reach, but it goes a little slowly. So enjoy, and now when someone brings up galactic children, you'll know what they're talking about. Congratulations. So I would like to connect to Osho about that, please, to just kind of give me a point. One could say of reference, of like a frequency anchoring to pull in more information. It's like I'm inviting it. I'm definitely inviting it. I would like to understand and connect to it personally. That is my intention. I see a dragonfly. I'm wearing my pants from the dragonfly. Tell me about the galactic children. It's a macrocosm to the microcosm galactic children bring in frequencies of their own that are less anchored in blueprints of any vibration outside of the frequency with which they were brought in. It brings in a film over, like a coating over a person, like astrology chart or something. That's when a person comes in through a birth portal, that is basically they're bathed in that coating. And so for galactic children are brought in a lot of different ways, but the frequency of the place they are at when they are brought into soul spark awareness, that frequency is a signature that is on their energetic body, that impacts their accessibility and understanding of the universe and the universal laws around them. So time is experienced differently, and other expressions of life on other planets in different dimensions and galaxies, based off of many factors that are too numerous to list, being that there's so many infinite potentials. But there is a maturation that all species reach on your planet, where a fly can go from like larva to adult fly for reproduction within a very short span of time. To you is a lifetime to them, that is paced and lengthy and necessary, and doesn't feel rushed. It's a perception. Galactic children reach maturation in a different pace than children on Earth. It is not what you would say like 7 to 13 years. It's experienced differently. It can be it's like an internal meter of vibrational understanding of biological construction. There are galactic children who come in with awareness of every lifetime. So they don't have a veil. Some of them just don't have a veil where they're from because they are not dropping density so dramatically. So they don't have a state of forgetfulness when they are off this planet. So they bring in wisdom from all other emanations of self and concurrent emanations of self through the vessel that they hold, and they can pace that maturation as they wish internally. So there could be many children within one family who have opted to experience childhood over a longer period of time or indefinitely. They prefer the structure and newness of their vessel and are not treated as less than on other planes of existence. So there is a air of whimsy and playfulness that exists within the cellular structure of younger biological vessels that is built into the lifespan of each cellular structure. So despite the fact that there's like an increase in retained knowledge for an incarnate of a galactic child outside of this realm, there's the playfulness that is experienced on a cellular level that allows... So they're already at a frequency of unconditional love, but it's like this little spark that exists within a child's eyes relating to magic, that even though they're aware that magic exists, and matured adult beings also know that magic exists, there's a playfulness and unpredictability that comes with the cellular structure of change within the galactic child's body. Some galactic children are non-physical, so that is represented through emanations of frequency and or color and or sound that is discernible or not by the human ear, often not. Those galactic children, in fact, have a great deal of fun moving their energetic frequencies to be anything. They're like moldable clay, but without limitation of space and time. There is the large inability of the human brain to conceive of things outside of their present reality as they are beginning to integrate information outside of the structure of humankind. So in order to explain to you that a soul spark emanation can exist outside of physicality in itself is an advanced concept, to explain also that those expressions of self can exist simultaneously on different planes and dimensions within what you conceive as time, which is limited in that linear quality conceptually, to just see a start, middle, and end. As for galactic children, or galactic beings as a whole, without veil, there's an understanding that there are expressions of self that continue to emanate and exist throughout reality and hold a thread to all others as connection to divine source oneness. Without veils, there is a constant state of perceived connectivity and internal sovereignty that allows accessibility or non-accessibility to what is perceived as individual thought, experience, expression, creation, integration, transcendence of all of those things in personal soul spark evolution of that signature, of that note, of that frequency. But that frequency also holds connection to all from its original ray and all else through source. Each being within the structure of the all has the capacity to connect to all that is or not and choose what they have access to. Just because you own an infinite library doesn't mean you read every book. It just means when you desire an answer to a question or a story, you can access that book at any time. Galactic children often, despite their state of forgetting, will choose at times to put that remembering or knowledge on shelves in libraries that are accessible to them in order to have and experience a more, quote, beginner's mind of the childlike quality that in its limited space that is taken up with gathered knowledge is left to more present whimsy and creation outside of boxes that have already been established and rooted, even in organic templates of structures. These galactic children, both ethereally and in the physical, are rushing to Earth like the raining down of cosmic celestial glitter. They look like meteors, kind of glitter that are being pelted at Earth, both in the physical and non-physical. So I'm seeing like babies being born with that signature, because the signature is already in our atmosphere with the galactic children here. There is a resonance within the newness of a incarnate that brings to the table it's a residue, energetic residue of their origin, that while that exists in starseeds now, was never accessible in the depth of how it will be accessible by these incarnates that are actually coded in frequency to enter at a space and time in which forgetting is almost non-existent, and have been put in families that more so are able to pivot with their expression. It is not intended for these galactic children that are present to exit the planet because of their difference. They are intended to stay and rebuild. There's a great protection around them because the frequency of the planet has increased so much that the opposition, while present, is not as successful, I guess, in deterring a child from reaching maturation without extensive states of trauma. Coming into this realm itself is a shock to the system and quote trauma, but many of these children have been born into situations that allow them to actually be the teachers to their parents. And they hold a frequency of tuning that allows some receptivity that was previously impossible in starseed parent relationships. And there was a great deal more opposition on planet at that time as well. The galactic children that are ethereally present, they are here with great interest in support of their incarnate brothers and sisters, and also of their ancestral lineage. If you were as a child able to go into back into time to visit and assist your ancestors as children and as adults in a hardship or a time of transition, say during a druid period of time, you would have happily involved yourself in any assistance. That is what is happening here. It is future selves coming to help past selves through energetic and frequency alignment. There is a great deal of galactic child's communication that is taking place, and much of this is unrecognized, but is felt in everyday experiences that interrupt patterned behavior and trend toward playfulness, nature, color, dancing, movements, music, anything that is playful or outside of a template that was previously predictable. That is the influence of galactic children at this time. It is a joyful time, It is a time to anchor in the joy, both in the biological incarnation of galactic children and also in the energetic influence that's brought in through galactic children to those that are at the frequency to receive. Those that are not yet at the frequency to receive do still have influence of galactic children in their life energetically, which would in some ways be likened to potential, quote, elemental behavior, like a fairy, of allowing points of magical, quote, coincidence and synchronicities to align that are joyful specifically to the individual. Those could be seen as relatable to galactic children energy. And while stated earlier that galactic children have put some of their previous knowledge on shelves with accessibility to the library, they too can assist with anything as an air of that whimsy will be brought to any situation with greater levity. So utilizing communication with galactic children as a whole will be seen as extremely helpful in elevating frequency for all people who choose to work with their energies. They wish to help. They wish to help together. They often, they're not singular. They're in groupings, little teams. They are in teams of multidimensional selves. They are not just one galactic race of a team. They are all different looking and different in the way they express and what their gifts are. They've been dispersed in this way in order to create a more well-rounded experience and expression of self as a whole, as a collective, as a molecular compound that creates a new element that is needed for the particular request or situation. They enjoy playing in teams and can change teams, and they can also bilocate, and they play within that. There's a great elemental energy about them. They wish for you to know that in the ascension of the planet, the playfulness that was felt at one of the original grid worker meetings of awakening baby dragons to put their play energy on the ley lines to lighten the frequencies is in fact a similar thing that they are bringing in as well. The dragon energy is within a similar ray within the frequency of the all to these playful. The baby dragon energy is similar but different in the coding and in the energetic makeup. There's an energy of a dragon frequency that is not embedded necessarily within the galactic children as they raise the vibration as well. They bring in, they anchor in galactic frequencies. There are also galactic dragons, but this is in particular to this point. They don't necessarily hold dragon frequencies, though some have lives that intersect there. They're very busy. They work much like bees in a hive. They do this work as teams, and then they go back to central sun, or it looks like the central sun inside. It's a very crystalline, golden peach. It's like Venus. It's that unconditional love frequency of like the Christed frequency. They go there and they play. They play. When they go there, they play, and it retunes them. Their frequency is retuned from whatever may have influenced them on the earth that was negative, or potentially challenging. They don't experience a great deal of disruption energetically on the ethereal, but they recognize that disruption is one of the side effects of Earth. In fact, the fact that they're able to reach us now means that we've reached a frequency that they can tolerate, which is actually great news. It means that there is a considerable growth within humankind in order to receive that. They've been waiting with bated breath to make it here. They come in groups of, like 5 or 6, and they flit through. They don't stay in one place super long, but they come in and they bring messaging, they bring visions. They came to me, actually, apparently playing with the baby dragons the other day. They also like to play with baby dragons. There are all the colors and many more. They can kind of shapeshift a little bit. They have their galactic rays, and they have their energetic body. Like we astrally project, they also do that. So many of them do have a physical body, but they also have this energetic body that can come and visit and go back. Their physical bodies, they're able to, like kids play dress up here, they can just change. That's why many like to stay galactic children for a long time, is because they enjoy the playfulness of it. They're really excited to experience animal frequencies here. They're hoping to be able to introduce new animals as well. And they will eventually be able to be in the physical here on this realm, but not for a while, except through incarnation. That's all.